welcome back.
But cheese pie doesn't sound right.
And welcome back to
pie.
welcome back to the weekly recap. This week on the weekly recap, we've got Jacob, our DM, we've got Abby, who plays Thia, and we've got Zach, who has officially been changed to our host for this season.
I've done it.
He's done it. He's been promoted, guys. Give him a little clap for that. All right, so this week we're going over number one. Welcome back, because it's been a couple weeks since we've done anything on this channel. Me and Zach played a little bit of Minecraft. We're not gonna make that into YouTube or anything. We didn't really have a lot going for it. It was just more us hanging out on Twitch, and a couple people jumped in and hung out with us. But hoping to do some more stuff like that in the future. Just some other games that might be coming out soon. Maybe some single player stuff, or some more multiplayer stuff. But we'll look into that in the future. But this week we're going over episode 4 from chapter 2. This episode, we are still on a beach that we had landed on after crashing from the airship crash. We've been here for 2 episodes now after crashing in episode 2, and now we're kind of like trying to get our bearings back. We're still not quite there. There's a lot of stuff going on for us. I'm going to go ahead and go over the episode real quick, and then we'll jump into some conversation and some conversation starters that Zach has for us. So, this week we were back on the beach. Last week it ended on Thia and kind of like getting sucked into this temple, into like a black hole dimension type thing. It's some sort of dimension created by a demon, and that's something that Thia learns throughout the episode. It becomes a very serious episode. There's a lot of stuff going for Thia. So basically, I'm gonna let Abby more explain this later. It's really hard for me to like try to really get the full details. Jacob and Abby will do it for me. Basically, what happened though? So we're on the beach still. The rest of the group, minus Zygon and Thia, were in the temple, and the rest of the group were on the beach. We're still discussing the dragon egg. If you guys missed that, go check out last week's recap. It's us and the giant Uthek, who's now with us, and we're all chilling on the beach, and then Zygon pops up. Thia's not with him. Thia is in another dimension, and basically she is going through this kind of like, it's almost like a memory of her old hometown, but there's like a couple things that are just a little bit off. There's a guy that she had a crush on in Singorn, but she's not in Singorn, she's in her hometown, and so he's not.
It's a lot of inconsistency.
Yeah, he's not supposed to be there. Her mom starts off not really being sick at the time, even though she had been sick for a while, and then like a bunch of little things like that kind of happening. But basically she goes through these memories and she pieces it all together to a point where she's like, okay, a lot of things here are not adding up. Did Thia know she was in a different like place the whole time, or did she have to put
I think like I have a feeling that it was kind of like a situation of like she gets sucked into this place, knocked out, wakes up, and is like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Like,
you have
more, it's like
all your stuff's gone. It's all left back at the temple.
Yeah, it was like she got sucked this way, her stuff got sucked this way, door closed, she can't get out, kind of, and then like she goes unconscious or something and comes to, and it's like a whole like there's like a mental barrier where you're like, you weren't here, and then suddenly like anything could have happened in that time. So like I don't think she has a full grasp of what's going on. She just knows like she's not where she was, and it looks like a familiar place.
So,
but obviously it feels wrong.
Yeah. So throughout her memory, like it's kind of like re-seeing a memory. Obviously, it's being put on by this demon, which we'll talk about him a little bit later. But she's getting all these memories from her past that are just kind of like it's like a bunch of, as Abby said, familiar things being put into this dimensional kind of trance, just to kind of make her think like a little bit more of like her home and her mom before her mom passed away, and the guy that she had a crush on, and like all these things. And slowly throughout the episode, she gets it kind of like all taken away from her, or like stuff kind of just starts going really wrong, and she's figured out by now she's not in like the right kind of, like, she's in a different area at this point. She's in some sort of dream trance dimension, and she doesn't really know like what's going on. And finally, near the end of the whole situation, she kind of tries to confront this guy she had a crush on. She throws a dagger at him, and it does end up doing damage to him, but then it ends up like he gets back to the house, and her mom fixes him up, and then her mom starts limping, and she's like, her health declines a lot more rapidly than it had when she had the sickness in Thia's past. And then the demon appears when Thia goes to try to go to sleep that night, and he explains to her that the Moon Weaver pretty much and him had a little bit of history, and he basically like it was like some sort of trust issue he had with her, something like that. Once again, I'll let Jacob and Abby get into it. It's not something I fully understood at the time, so but he basically explains she's now stuck in this place until the group can come get her out. And the time works a little bit differently for her in this dimension compared to outside. So time for her is passing by a lot faster. So she could have days and weeks go by while we have just like an hour go by. And so she ends up, the guy's like, listen, I'm going to keep you in here and I'm going to torture you because, and he tried to turn Thia against the Moon Weaver and all this. Thia mentally stayed strong. And did not take a pact with him where he was gonna get himself out of this temple but possess Thia essentially at the same time. Thia was able to break through to have a very brief conversation with the Moonweaver, and we found out the Moonweaver kind of forced this conversation to make sure she could get some words into Thia that made sure Thia understood what was going on. Of course, in this world, the gods and the humankind, creature kind on the material plane are very disconnected, and it's a lot harder for them to kind of be able to communicate. So this was a huge thing for her to do. She even explained it to Thea, like it took a lot out of her to be having this conversation with her. And once again, we will get into the more specifics on that conversation, but it kind of reassured Thea, hey, like this stuff did happen and some of what he's telling you is true. We find out the Moonweaver and this demon actually had a love affair at one point, and now she tells Thea, like, you're gonna be put through some shit, and it's gonna be hard, and you're gonna have to hang in there, and she's like, you're gonna have to hang out in there until your friends get there. And I'm just gonna explain some things real quick about me and Zygon. Animus and Zygon were in lockdown.
The A-team, for sure.
We're sitting there outside this temple, and there's a little thing going on with these three bats, and it's like the no see, no hear, no talk.
See no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil.
We had no idea what was going on. We had no clue how to figure this shit out. It was so stupid. I don't know how. We just sat there. We're like, oh, what is this? Like, what's going on?
Can kill a Medusa in 3 rounds.
But
takes 45 minutes to figure out a puzzle.
Yeah.
All I know is that the final boss of the campaign, he's probably just gonna go like, and now you must solve this puzzle, and it's like, we lose, guys.
That's how we lose D&D.
I'd throw it in right there. I'd be like, you know what? Take over the world. We're done. I can't do this anymore. I'm just gonna get out of here. But yeah, so it took us a while. We figured it out. We figured it out. I thought it was a riddle the whole time. It wasn't. It was more something we had to do to these statues.
Like a puzzle.
It was stupid of me. I know. Stupid of me to think it was a riddle instead of a
There were no
puzzle.
words.
No, I know that. I know that now.
What
That's
is
why
this
I'm
riddle?
saying it was stupid. Right?
Riddle. You have to read a riddle.
It was bad. Just listen. It was bad. It's fine. We found it out eventually.
Had to give you so many hints.
And I did a riddle for the tournament that you guys were just in, so I'm not gonna do riddles again that soon.
Yeah, we figured it out eventually. We really tried to do it without hints, and we got like 1 or 2 from Jacob and Abby that finally got us to like, oh, you're supposed to actually like do something, and Jacob's like, it's archaic.
I kept being like, it's an arcane lock. I wonder what you could do with that.
And then we're like, oh, spells.
What a thought.
So we started using spells. I used a fire spell on the one that had no C, and it because it was a light or like imagery spell, then the hands came off. I started glowing. We used a sensory one for the no here. That was a sound one. Zygon used thaumaturgy, and that one worked. And then, it was prestidigitation, yeah. And then the last one was charm person that Zygon once again used. It had to be a talking one that where it had to have something to do with communication. So that one ended up opening. We got into the temple. It's pitch black. You can't even use light in there. It's literally the epitome of darkness. A light does not show light. So the way that I kind of tried to figure that out was I used produce flame in my hand. The heat was still in my hand, but there was no light coming off of my hand. That's what we were working with. Eventually I figured out Animus kind of had a sense of the room. It was about a 20 by 20 square foot room, so pretty small, and there's a pool of blood in the middle. It's like a well of blood kind of in the middle of it. And at the very end of the episode, Zygon kind of fell into it because he had no idea where he was going, and he was just trying to follow our voice. And we actually ended the episode on Thia kind of getting that last couple words with the Moonweaver, and then going out of her room the next day in this dimension and seeing the demon standing there, and on the ground is her mom and her crush dead on the floor, and he's like, are you ready to fucking get into this shit, because I'm gonna make this hard. And that's where we ended it. So let's jump into some conversation here. Zach, what's the first conversation you have for us to have today?
I think we should kind of talk a little bit more about the little vision or alternate reality, whatever you want to call it, that Thea experienced.
Yeah.
Jacob, let's go to you first. What is it? Is it a different dimension, or is it a vision of some sort?
I am not going to answer that.
Oh, okay. I guess it's important for next week.
What I will say is it is very, very real to Thea. Everything that is happening is happening.
Okay.
She can get hurt. She could die. Things are real.
Okay. Well, Abby, here's your chance.
Yeah. It's weird because whenever Jacob started explaining things, I was like, this is interesting, because Jacob had said he lost his notebook with all of our families' names in them. So I was like, oh god, Jacob just doesn't remember my backstory, and he's making it up and he's making it wrong. And I was so stressed out because I was like, we worked on this for 2 hours one night, and I was like, this is upsetting me, and I was like, this isn't what I wanted. And then he was revealing that it was kind of things weren't adding up and things weren't right, and you obviously didn't meet this guy in an orphanage. He doesn't live in this village, because there's a whole separate backstory with him. He's just Thea's best friend in the world probably, and of course he's gonna show up in some weird vision like that. Or reality or whatever, demon torture chamber that is. So that was just very confusing, and then it's a lot.
It was heavy.
It was a lot. I was like, wow, Jacob was not kidding when he said he was gonna bring the heat, because
it's gonna get darker. I can't wait until I get into the stuff I have planned for Animus.
I'm almost glad. I'm just gonna skip over that. I'm almost glad that me and Zygon and Lochnar trying to figure out that puzzle was very comedic for everyone, because we were the comedic relief for that episode. Yes. Otherwise,
I couldn't do it.
Way too serious. It was gonna get way too serious, and not in a bad way.
I assumed you guys would take really long on the puzzle, so I knew I had room to breathe there.
Yeah,
because normally I feel I try to be the comedic relief when I can, but oh boy, did Jacob say not today.
No.
There's some good area for comedic relief. I think Hunter is 100% all the time comedic relief. I think
Yeah.
anyone, depending on their interactions, can be comedic relief at certain times.
Like when you talk to the meat.
the meat man.
When Animus goes to the bad side of town.
The bad side of town to buy
Jeez
a tool set, a forgery set, like Thea falling down the pole, all that kind of stuff. I mean, every one of our characters has a good time to be comedic, but in a lot of cases also good times to be serious. We're seeing coming up, like it'll get more serious for Braun. He's got something going on with him now. We've got Lochnar, who's trying to kind of get a little bit more serious with the fact that his family just found him. And now, of course, Animus has his stuff, Zygon has his stuff with his family, and then now Thea's got some more stuff going on.
Everybody's got stuff, is what we're saying.
Everyone has something serious going on, and I will say, rightly so. All right, okay. This is an intense moment because we've figured out from the Sphinx at the end of chapter 1, like he's like, hey, you guys are kind of the center of this. And, like, of course, like, a lot of D&D goes like this. I mean, you want it to, though. You guys are the center of this world, as this, like...
Yeah, no one wants to play side characters.
No, you don't play,
Yeah, like,
you don't
that's the
play
point.
characters that are like, oh, did you guys hear about this one adventuring group? They're doing so
There was this
crazy
one
right
group.
now. Anyway, can you guys go and, like, kill some wolves and bring them back for some meat tonight? Like, oh, yeah.
There was these
Yeah.
people who killed 5 dragons at once. Anyway, I got some rats in my cellar.
Yeah, can you guys go? No one does that, all right? Playing
Oh
the
my God.
central characters of a campaign is usually the way to go. Sometimes you can have other situations, but
Well, that's what
usually
one-shots
the way
are
to
for.
go. Yeah, usually the way to go, and that's what you like to see. There's a lot going on with our party right now. Like, we've been told, like, we have the 5 watching us. We have people asking us to be kind of like part of their alliances. There's different governments that we've now worked for that are going against each other. So we have an alliance with multiple governments that aren't even allied with themselves. Stuff like that. And it's like, so there's going to be things that are going to be for a group harder and individually harder, and that's kind of like what you really enjoy on the roleplay aspect. Like, it's fun to have hard challenges when it comes to rolling dice and in situations that are like actual combat, but then it's also really fun to have extremely hard decisions that you have to now make up for Jacob to or any DM to be like, what you say here is going to determine the rest of the campaign for
Like,
you.
I think that that's a big deal, because I remember when we first started, I was like, I have to know when you guys are talking in game and when you're not, because if you say some offhand comment in front of like a mayor and like, I want to kill this guy, then you're gonna get arrested.
I've made that
Like-
mistake. I made that mistake with
with
the guy
with
and the
Zygon's
water.
jug,
Yeah.
man.
I
Yeah.
said it as a
Yeah.
joke, and I realized I said it, and Jacob
In
took it, and I was like,
character.
you know what? I can't take that back. I was like, it happened. So,
Yeah.
but
I mean, words have consequences, and I think that I'm interested to see how Thea behaves, because I'm basically trying to figure out, as the demon, what is the thing I can do or say that convinces her to join me. So
far,
I'm
you haven't
still,
been successful.
I'm still trying to crack that
The-
nut. I'm
something-
still trying to figure it out.
before we jump into the next conversation, something we talked about off camera was that, and I think I brought this up, Thea honestly may be one of the strongest in our group mentally. Just like her character, the way Abby plays her, everything about her. She has a past that fits her better as someone who's a lot stronger mentally, even than a lot of the other characters in the group who may be more experienced in whatever way they
Yeah,
may
I
be more
mean,
experienced.
2 of our players have already accepted deals with demons. Why not a 3rd? Come on.
You've got
I-
like, it's just it's cool to see, like, I mean, it's cool and sad, but like it's cool to see like Thea's mental game being just so far beyond what a lot of the other people in our groups are. in like the state she's in, because 3 of the 6 of our characters would have taken that deal right away, probably, just to have.
I would also argue that only you two have the backstories that I could really do this with. Maybe Lochnar, but Lochnar as a character wouldn't really be able to play in that space. So
you've already done it to me.
Oh,
I'm not even
getting started.
Oh, I know, but you've already done it to me in my mental quests for the Earth Araminte, so.
Oh, it's gonna get worse.
Oh man! All right, Zach, go ahead. Let's get into another conversation.
All right, we're gonna change subject completely. I want to know what y'all's thoughts are on the shape-shifting egg thing that's going on.
I love the shape-shifting
Thia
egg.
doesn't know that it exists.
Yeah, I was
so.
gonna say, as characters, or do you want to actually ask what would Thia's actual thought be here when she does figure it out? That might be.
Yeah,
more.
I think
if
I
she
think
figures
both.
it out.
Well, you did see that shape changed the first time. You saw it go from red to green.
I'm pretty sure they were gone already.
I think I was already gone.
They were on the beach still when I came back, and it had already changed colors.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, and they were
so
standing there.
I think Thea might know it's there. It's just been a while.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
But there's
I don't know. Either way, I remember I was trying to sleep at that point, so I don't think I was paying too much attention. Yeah. I'm sure it's kind of I'm sure she's intrigued, but at the same time,
we all need to sleep. We all need to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost as if a lot of magic users are crippled when they don't get to rest.
Thank God I realized in that episode I still have all my warlock spells that I haven't used. I only have a couple spells.
Your whole 2.
Yeah, I have a whole 3 warlock spells and a whole 5 druid spells, and I'm saving them all for healing because that's what we're going to need it for.
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested what you guys think as players, though. What do you think is going on with it?
The dragon egg, yeah. I guess I should get back to that.
I don't know. I'm honestly not sure. I'm it's... maybe, I don't know, because I just, don't know what you're gonna do. I don't know what your thoughts are, because I know you're trying to throw us for a loop, and I know that you know that me and Caleb have watched Critical Role, so you're they know enough to, make educated guesses about certain things.
But Animus doesn't, and Thea
doesn't. Yes, but
I would also say that this idea is weird, and I really don't know how I'm gonna execute it. I'm flipping between 2.
Yeah, because I remember it at the end of spoiler alert for Critical Role, but I remember have you watched all of campaign 1?
Oh, I've seen all of it.
Caleb.
He has not.
He has not. But at the end of campaign 1, whenever they
just give me a thumbs up.
Kill whenever they kill what's his name? The red dragon.
He's gonna edit this anyway.
That's his problem. Yeah, I don't know. The one from the fire plane with the jewel,
Yeah.
Yeah. He had these weird mutated red dragon eggs. Primordial dragon eggs. And I was I don't know if this is some weird experiment that maybe several chromatic dragons are coming together for an experiment in dragon egg making.
I will say that it is not experimental. It has nothing to do. It's not because I saw some people were is it the dude who's just been making weird monsters? Is this just the next step?
I feel that would be too easy. Oh.
Yeah. We should have never told them.
We should. That was your bad. You shouldn't have told him to put them back on.
Yeah. But it's not the dude who's been making weird poisonous hydras and a Medusa that can stretch their neck.
Yeah, because this seems on a whole other level.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is much deeper, and I actually think if Thea comes back to the egg and does some examining of it, I think she might be able to figure something out with it.
Animus
the fact
is
I'm wondering if it's
egg.
Yeah.
Say that.
The fact that Braun can touch it is a very big deal. That is a very big clue as to what this thing is.
Is it bronze specific, or is it was it given to him by when he made out with what's her face? That's what we can assume. That's what we're all assuming right now. That's what Animus and Ansu assumed. Braun's backstory and just things about Braun are very
There could be
unknown
something we don't know, yeah.
at the
about his
moment. Like I don't
backstory.
know, because he doesn't share much.
He's got a completely different race. We have no idea like where
He's
he
from a
came
different
from.
continent than all
Yeah.
you guys. He's the only one not from Exandria or from.
He is from
Tal'Dorei.
Marquette.
I'm not.
Yeah, he's from Marquette.
Tal'Dorei, technically.
Well, yeah, but close enough.
I was born on Tal'Dorei in a different
Yeah,
dimension.
like you were born on the tail side, not the head side.
Yeah.
Like I was born on the Texas side of Texarkana, not the Arkansas side.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Uh,
Well, I'll say for Animus, I think it's kind of the same for me. I'm just like, if it's evil and it's gonna hurt us, we gotta get rid of it because we've got stuff going on already, and we don't want to have to also be dealing with a dragon.
yeah.
First thought was do not send it back to the. I know Hunter wanted to send it back, or Anzu wanted to send it back to the college because
Richter.
yeah, because Richter. But like I was like, don't send it back to the college. Like you don't know if that thing's gonna hatch, and like all of a sudden now the 5 has eyes on the college, and like all
Not
that
only
kind of
that,
stuff.
but those Hydra eggs that you guys retrieved are still at the college.
Yeah, but that we know is from what's his face.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
whoever's doing the experimentation.
But
Which you also
experimentation-
don't know if that dude's part of the 5 or not.
No, we don't. You're right.
Which is another wrinkle. Like the
Ugh.
thing. Okay, so there's 2 options I'm thinking about with the egg, and one of them is just a lot more work than the other one. But I think the more work one is more interesting.
I mean, more work usually puts it into more interest.
Yeah.
Simple can also be good though. It's going to be depending on what you want to do with it.
Yeah.
But
I think either way, you guys will be surprised.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you could throw anything at me, and I'd be like, "What?"
What?
I'm just having a great time, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying
And we hope
this.
everyone watching is too.
Like as cruel as you're being to my character right now,
It's not cruel. It's development.
it's it's the most I think interesting I've gotten to be so far,
hey,
and that's kind of nice.
Thea wanted to go out into the world and discover things. You know, now she's discovering.
Well, she didn't
things.
want to watch her mom die 1,000 times. I don't think that was the plan.
Yeah.
Or like her best friend die
Hey, if we
1,000
can,
times.
I mean, it depends on how fast we save you. If it's gonna be 1,000
Yeah,
times or 100,000
it's gonna be a lot
so
of
we'll
times, I'm
see.
sure. Yeah.
Zach,
I
what-
do have one question real
Oh,
quick for
go ahead.
Jacob. Did you so what was the point of making things like slightly different in the reality that I'm in? Like was it just so that I would notice that it was like
It was more
Weird.
like he hadn't gotten fully through your head yet, and he kind of threw things together. But now, like, there's little things that he did that you didn't notice that helped him get a
what
better
did was it when he
representation.
got all close in my face? Like what did he do?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'll explain it.
You
But
also
I'll
talked
explain it at a later date.
to his thing, to his visions
Mm.
that he
I
was.
guess I did yell. This isn't
Yeah.
correct.
This isn't correct. You're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be in Sengord, but all this other stuff is like wrong, like all that. So
Yeah.
Zach, what else do you have for us?
That is all I have.
Well, it was 2 really big questions, so I
Yeah.
mean,
Bring in the A game.
yeah, that
Jacob's
I mean,
thinking.
the whole.
I am. I'm just thinking like, I got to stick this landing, and if I don't stick this landing, it's gonna be boring. but-
No, you
it's
got
really hard to not be boring at this point. I mean,
Well, let's just say that like, imagine that you guys are on top of a mountain
mhm.
and there's a snowball that's just starting to roll and it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and that snowball's not going to stop rolling until it hits something.
well,
It's gonna be you guys.
Good.
It's-
Good. We're at the top of the mountain. though,
or
he
if
said.
I move out of the way.
Yeah,
of the
right now.
snowball.
But eventually the snowball is going to hit you guys, and then it's going to do the cartoon thing where you're part of the snowball, and then
Oh.
Or we just I just step out of the way of the snowball and completely I just don't.
yeah, and then I have to make a completely new mountain that does an avalanche, and
And then yeah, that one's a little bit hard to get away from.
yeah.
Good.
Oh man, I can't wait. It's gonna be so good when you guys get into Vasselheim. Oof.
We have to fucking
Exposition.
figure out. I mean, we kind of know where we are, but not really.
You vaguely know where you
Ron
are.
knows where we are.
Vaguely. He knows it from a boat, not from land.
I mean, if we jump on a boat, we'll be fine. That's the point.
Yeah, where are you going to get that boat?
We're gonna go over to the ship that was an airship at one point. And we're gonna repair it.
It's like split in half.
We're gonna Swiss Family Robinson this shit.
Or you guys could easily just like... Never mind. Anyway.
Have someone like a druid fly and find Vasselheim with his extreme amount of time that he can stay as a bird that will also go extreme distances, and then have everyone teleport to him.
I'm interested to see when Lochnar remembers that he's kind of wanting to get to Vasselheim quickly. I'm interested to see when he's like, oh yeah, I gotta go find the robot dude.
I mean, I'm hoping we save Thea, we find the Pegasus, and we get to Vasselheim. I have to find Peggy. Alright?
Good old Peggy.
Yeah.
It's officially Peggy now, also.
Yeah. I remember talking to Corey after the session the other night. He was like, and we still gotta go to Vasselheim.
Yeah.
So he knows.
I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff going on with him and his character that I feel like I mean, talking to a giant, that's not something that I mean any of us, much less someone who is of giant kind in a way, is like he's definitely a little bit distracted by that right now. Like, but yeah, we'll have to see what even happens. We'll have to probably part ways with that giant because he has to get back to his clan. Get that sword that I almost died over because I saved the sword, but you know, it's fine. All right, well, another crazy episode for chapter 2. We're in it now. We're in it. It's not gonna stop. Come back and watch us.
In the words of Smash Mouth, the hits start coming and they don't stop coming.
That is true.
Yeah. Don't forget to tell some people about us. If you guys think that you want to watch more of our stuff, make sure to come check us out on YouTube. We have some one-shots that I'm going to start trying to work up on. We've had a couple weeks off just overall, and that just kind of meant none of us really working on anything for the channel. But now getting back into it, just make sure you jump over there and kind of check out some of the one-shots we're going to be putting up, as well as if you haven't seen any of our Chapter 1, or maybe you only watched part of Chapter 1, there are weekly recaps up on those, or you can go back and watch the whole episode if you really want to. Some of the episodes from our very start were when we were in person, and those are fun to watch. The dynamic was a little bit different.
Those are so old.
They're so old.
I wish we could do this part together though, because like I want to get creepy with like this character, and it's harder to do that. Like I don't know if you guys noticed, but like I'm like doing weird lip licking stuff with this character.
I think it still works.
No, I
over
was
camera.
deeply uncomfortable.
It still
I
works over
promise
camera.
you.
It's just
Narganize. Is his name Narganize?
Yeah.
That made me beyond uncomfortable.
It's
I was like, you can take a few steps back, sir.
It's definitely taken us a little time, but I feel like we've I mean, we got used to it a while back, but we're more at a point now where it flows a lot better on camera, and I think it's a lot more fun for us. We had to figure that out over the summer, obviously, but yeah, so come back on Sunday to check out our full stream. If you guys can't do Sunday, or you just don't want to watch a full stream, you can come back next week and watch the weekly recap.
You got it.
Or watch it at your own pace on YouTube.
Or watch it on YouTube. We've got the episodes going up. Me and Jacob are still going to be trying to work out a way to do our full Chapter 1 episode recap, and hopefully we just have to figure out a way to do it. But that will be coming out hopefully in the next month or so. So yeah, thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.